Hello everyone. Let's solve today's daily Leetcode problem 3494. Find the maximum amount of time to brew potions. Before starting this problem, we shall have a small motivational quote. I recently realized I was on autopilot with daily Leetcode challenge. So I had to stop and reload myself with better thoughts. Remember, stepping back isn't a retreat, it's it's reloading. Even the mightiest rivers have bends. They do not they don't change their destination. They simply find a better or a smarter, more powerful way to get there. Same with my journey as well. And I hope you can also correlate it in your life whenever you feel too many things on your plate or so. So just take a step back, get relax, and come back stronger. Right? Okay. So let's understand the problem statement. You are given two integer arrays skill and skill and mana of length n and m respectively. In a laboratory, n wizards have a skill must brew m potions in order. Each potion have a mana capacity m of j and must pass through all the wizards sequentially to be brewed properly. The time taken by the ith wizard of the jth potion is time ij, which is equals to skill of I into mana of j, right? So we are given with these arrays. So at any point of time, a wizard needs, uh, if he needs to brew a specific potion or the jth potion, so it would be his skill level and the mana value of the specific potion. Since the brewing process is delicate, a potion must be passed into the next wizard immediately after the current wizard completes their work. This means the timing must be synchronized so that each wizard begins working on a potion exactly when it arrives. Return the minimum amount of time required for the potions to be brewed properly. So, this is by definition itself is little bit tricky to understand, but I would give you an example. Let's say we are at a food processing industry, and let's say you are given with a small piece of liquid that goes through a chain of workers. So let's say a specific volume of portion is given to a worker I, and he takes certain skill based on the portion level, portion quantity, and also his skill level at a specific point of time, and he completes all of the and the portion passes through certain, let's say, three or four a set of skilled workers, and it should go in sequence, just like in a manufacturing industry. You can imagine, let's say, a bottle gets uh, let's say a small Coca-Cola bottle which gets processed. Maybe it might be aerated, and the drink might be poured into a bottle, and maybe some chemicals or some sort of additives might be added to the Coca-Cola liquid. Similarly, it all has to be in process. Maybe it might not, if you leave it for a certain period of time and if you seal it, the Coca-Cola quality of the product will be different. So the brewing process is delicate. So you can imagine it that way, but we will go through this example just to understand this better. So so in order to understand what this problem statement is asking, we will look at this example where there is skill which is equals to 1524 and mana of a specific portion which has 5142, right? So let's say portions 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the portions, and they pass through set of skilled workers, right? So let's say here there are skilled workers. At 0 we have skilled worker 1 value of 1 and 5 and 2 and 4, right? So we know this has a value 1. So at this point of time, uh, mana value of this has 5, 1, 4 and 2. So these are all the portions. So at p portions of 1, this is the value and this is what is being written here. So in order for the portion 1 to pass through the skilled worker, it takes about 5 seconds, let's say 5 units of time, or 5 seconds, let's call it in simple understandable language, right? So now if the portion 1 needs to pass through the second skilled worker, which it should do because as the problem statement has suggested, it, it needs to pass through the next wizard immediately, right? So let's say after the 5th second, so 0 to 5 second, the skilled worker 1 does his brewing on this portion 1. So after the 5th second, immediately the skilled worker 2 will start his duties. And now 5 into 5, it's 25, right? 5 into 5 is what? Plus the previous value, which is 5. So this will take this portion will get brewed by the second skilled worker at the 30th second, right? But still there are 2 more skilled workers that this needs to go through, or this needs to be brewed with. So we know that 30 is the previous value or the previous second, and 5 is the portions unit, and skilled worker has 2 units, right? So 5 into 2, which gets 40. Similarly here 40 plus 4 into 5, which is 20. This takes a value of 60, right? Now similarly, if we need to start working with the portions 2, we can say we can say all the skilled workers would have finished their duty at 60 second. So we can say let the skilled worker 1 start his work at the 60th time, wherein he can wait from 5 to 60 with empty hand, or with nothing to brew, no potions to brew, right? So let's say this guy starts his work at 60 and he takes up the second mana, which is 61 into 1, which is uh 61 61, and now at potions 2 to be gone to the skilled worker 2, it would take 5 into 1. So this will take 67. 5 into 1, it's 66, sorry. And 66 plus 2 is a skilled worker, and a skill of this worker is 2, and the portion that we are brewing is 2 into 1. So 68 will be the value here, right? So 61, 66, 68. So the last one will be 68 plus 4 into 1. So this will be 72. So if so we can add in all the values with the previous value, but one thing that I want to say here is all this a specific portion needs to be brewed by all the skilled workers, and all the skilled workers need to be available, and the portion needs to be brewed uh, immediately, which means there should be no pause, or all the skilled workers should be available. So this is the most this is the brute force way, or this is the easiest way that we can solve this problem. Say that this is an inefficient way, but since they have also given asked us to return the minimum amount of time required for portions to be brewed properly. So there is also a statement which says this means seeking the timing must be synchronized so that each wizard begins working on a portion exactly when it arrives, right? So this means, let's say, uh, skilled worker is available from the 6th second. After the 5th second, he is immediately available, which means post the 5th second, he is available. So we can rewrite this table saying that so this will be portions. So the problem was 1 5 2 4, right? And portions were 5 1 4 with their mana values, right? So as we saw previously, we had seen 5, and uh, so we had seen 5, 30, and 40, and 60. These were the values that we saw for the first portion to be brewed completely. For the next portion to be brewed uh, effectively with time, so all of the skilled workers needs to be available. So let's say if this guy starts, if the skilled worker starts at 6th second, so let's say this portion gets brewed by the first worker, say at 7th second, and the second skilled worker is only available after the 30th second. So this portion should wait, or should cannot be brewed by the second person until the 30th second. So we might need to wait for this guy to be available. So let's say this guy takes 30 plus 1, 31. So this is where this guy gets available. Now the second guy would be available at 31st second. So 31 plus 5, so 36. So 36 seconds is when the portion 2 will be brewed by the second skilled worker, but the skilled worker 3 would only be available after 40 seconds. So this again needs to be held up till the 40th second. So let's say we wait till the 40th second, and we ask the skilled worker to do his duty at 42 second. Uh, do his duty only after 40th second. So let's say he completes his duty at 42nd second, and we see that the fourth skilled worker is still unavailable as he is completing his brewing. So he needs to wait till 60th second. But there is one right value. So we know that we can always have this guy 4 into 1, which is his value and the mana value. So we can calculate this at 60th second, which is the maximum value, and we can backtrack this one. Say, so this is 64, so this can be uh, 60 minus 2, which will be 50. So this can be started at 60th second. So is 64 so this value will obviously be changed to, this was initially 2 into 1, which was 42. Since this only gets to be started at 60th second or the 64th second, so we can say 60th second. By 60th second, this portion can be brewed by the second skilled worker. So we can say 60th minus 2 into 1. So this can take up a value 58. So here you can give this guy at 58 seconds. So that's what we mean here. And coming back to here at 58 second, so 1 into 1, this would be 58. So let me rewrite all the values that, so let's say 64 is this value, and the skilled worker 4 will only be available after the uh, 60th second. So the guy previous to him can complete his work at 60th second, which means uh, this guy can be sent at 58 second, and this guy can be given his work at 58 minus 5 into 1, which is 53. So these are the set of values. So 53, 58, and so on. So now that we know, this table will take up something like this. So let me rewrite all the values. 0, 64. These are with respect to questions. These are skills which go this way. Skills are 1, 5. So for us to calculate this value, so let's say if we similarly, let's say we have the skilled worker ready after the 53rd second. So we can say 53 plus 53 plus 50, 57. But this guy, the second skilled worker, is obviously not ready. So we might need to take this value only into account. So 58 should be the value that we should take into account, which means this previous value will be starting at 58 minus 4 into 1, which will be 54. This will be the value at which first skilled worker gets to start working on the portion 3, right? So with this being said, we might need to come to an understanding. This should give us an understanding such that for any given portion, For a wizard to brew a potion, a wizard brews a potion based on these conditions. If he's free, he's free after previous operation. This is first condition, and second condition is uh, previous wizard has completed brewing in synchronization. Sync. So, like here, for example, 53rd was this guy's available time. So, if we just consider 53 plus 54, second guy is not available. So, we should obviously consider 58 is the maximum value, and we should adjust the skilled workers start of the brewing at 58 minus 4 into 1. So I hope you got that idea. So with that being said, we can quickly start coding this solution up. I will go to the Leetcode editor and start coding this up. Okay, so let me start coding this up. So this will give us the uh, values of the portions that gets done at a specific point of time. And now we need a for loop where we can iterate through all the portions, that is the mana length. So we are checking if the specific uh, skilled worker is good to start, or the value of mana into skill is greater. Like for example, in the first portion, we would not be having any values for a specific uh, for a specific we would not be having a specific time of completion for a specific portion at the for the first portion. So the first portion will obviously take up the value mana value of the portion and also the skilled workers, right? So that's what we have done in this for loop. And in the next for loop, we iterate from the backwards just to see if all the skilled workers are available. Like the last skilled worker, and finally we return the done value at the last index, so that this will give us the efficient possible uh, the most minimum amount of time required to brew all potions. So let me go through what we have done here. So first thing is we are iterating through all the potions m, that is the mana uh, of a specific potion. So once we have a specific potion, initially we will go through all the skilled workers and calculate if the specific value of a potion brewed at a specific point of time is greater, or uh, the value it takes to get brewed is greater. The value of mana into skilled worker that it takes for the initial row to be filled is greater. So we will populate that. Once we do that, we will iterate backwards, wherein we will calculate a specific value, uh, subtracting the previous two values. Like for example, the last skilled worker might be available, as we see here, at a 60th time. So what we do here is, so we take that specific we calculate this value, and so we take this specific value, we calculate the mana value and subtract it. So 1 into 2. Okay, so we are calculating the last value, saying a specific value at I plus 1. So if we see, I will be the part of the skilled workers, where we are iterating through the skilled workers and we are iterating backwards, which means we are calculating this specific value with the next uh, value, and we are calculating it as, let's say, this guy has a value of 64 and this guy starts at uh, a value 1 into 4, minus the previous value, right? So that's what we are doing here, and all the other values get populated backwards. The same goes here as well. So either it gets calculated the max of this one, or get subtracted this one with this one. Okay, with that being said, let us quickly run the solution, and let's complete this problem. While this solution gets executed, okay, let me see. Mana. While the solution gets submitted, uh, the time complexity and space complexity of the solution is, space complexity would obviously be O of n, as we have this array here, while the time complexity is n into m, or the length of the two arrays. Okay, so the solution is failing to get submitted. Let's see what the. So there was one thing that was missed, if you noticed here. So we are either checking the value which is greater of itself, or we are adding the value uh, with respect to the current value and the previous value. Okay, let's submit this solution. Okay, this should be the right way to do this. As you can see, the solution gets submitted. Hope you found this video helpful. Please do like and subscribe to my channel if you found this video helpful. Thank you.